There are 64 days till the year 2000. As the clock ticks down to the turn of the century, the CBS Evening News is reporting on many of the significant changes you can expect in the new century. Unfortunately, you can expect more crime and criminals, but there may be some new ways of dealing with them, as CBS's Jim Stewart reports in tonight's Countdown to 2000.
Here's a pop quiz prison officials like to throw at visitors. Do you have any idea how many Americans are behind bars today? Answer, 1.3 million. Want to guess how many will be there in the 21st century? Maybe as high as 33 million. And now for the real brain twister, where on earth are we going to put them all? Well, here's one possible solution, and it's not as far-fetched as you may think. Given time and technology, scientists say, space-based human warehouses could be the prisons of the future.
England transported its prisoners to the United States and to Australia, so this is just a change in transporting now to space.
It's just one of dozens of concepts now being discussed by a handful of penology experts in America who are charting the future. Gene Stevens teaches a course on it at the University of South Carolina, and if you think space prisons are a stretch, listen to this one.
We could go to artificial aging. So say we have a 20-year-old that's committed a violent crime. Why don't we age him 25 years, make him 45, put him back on the streets, and not have to worry about this?
In other words, rob the inmate of the years he would be most likely to commit a crime. Prisoners of the future will eventually be segregated into two broad groups, Stevens believes, those absolutely too dangerous to ever be released again, and nonviolent offenders who don't even have to be behind bars. They could be closely tracked by a global positioning satellite that can spot them down to a few feet. Electronic boundaries like those we impose on pets could be set up for these inmates, and surgically implanted electrodes could even shock them until they return to where they're supposed to be.
One thing we could implant would be a subliminal implant. In other words, basically messages being typed into the subconscious constantly. Do the right thing, do what's required of you, be a good citizen, don't disobey the law.
Extreme criminals pose a different challenge. Housed today in facilities like this one in Colorado called Supermax, ideas for the next millennium call for everything from underwater prison pods to actually freezing prisoners for the length of their sentences in order to hold down on cost. Economics, in fact, will be a major motivator in the future. Why pay guards, for example, if a robot can do it?
With a little artificial intelligent computer brain, they can do all the things that you have to do to warehouse people. They can certainly keep people there and keep them there safely and cheaply. They work 24 hours a day and don't eat.
Do you solemnly swear that your testimony in this cause...
The judicial system is also getting a futuristic look over. This is William and Mary Law School's project called Courtroom 21 for the 21st century. Evidence like this recreation of a plane disaster, down to the moment of the crash, can be simulated for future juries.
This is what caused the disaster.
The metal pieces are shot into the cargo area.
Witnesses can testify by video from across the globe. Jurors can take virtual reality tours of the crime scene while the prosecutor presents his case from a podium that's actually a computer. And that's just the start, says Professor Frederick Lederer.
We can have a trial in which no one is in the same location. Perhaps Star Trek was not quite so fanciful. Perhaps it will be, Your Honor, may I beam in to Your Honor's chambers?
As fanciful as some of these ideas may sound, experts say many are closer than you think, and that raises some serious civil liberty issues. Do we really want impersonal justice without a courtroom? For our jurors to be connected only by computer, or to exert mind control over future inmates? Some worry that this science fiction may become fact before we have any answers. Jim Stewart, CBS News, on the Countdown to 2000.
Right up next.